It was fun. It was definitely fun. Good is a different question. But what is up, guys? I'm NarendraTheComic, and right now we're just going to be reviewing Aquaman, Aqualad, FISHERBOY, whatever you want to call him. I'd suggest you still just call him Aquaman. Yeah, he doesn't like any of the other ones. No. But Momoa did kill it in this role. I still don't think he is Arthur Curry. He's just a different type of Aquaman. He's not the Arthur Curry I know in the comics, but I think he puts on a different performance and it works. So he was great. Dolph Lundgren, he was amazing in this. I mean, he put in a really, he's had a good year, you know, with Creed 2 and this. He's done well. Black Manta was okay. William Dafoe was decent. Amber Heard was alright. You know what? She was good, but I think her chemistry with Jason Momoa, especially in the first half of the film, was really bad. So yeah, I think she put in a good performance, I guess, but she just didn't work well with him, especially in the first half of the film. In the second half, it did improve, but it still wasn't great. Yeah. It was a visual masterpiece for the budget it had of like 150 million reportedly. They used every single penny of that in the best way possible. There were problems with the CGI in parts, but for only 150 million to do what they did with the underwater scenes here, it's like creating a space film nowadays for 150 million dollars. You just can't do it. It will turn out shit. But somehow James Wan managed to design this in a way where it actually looked good and it looked enticing and it really grew the DC world in a different way, which is incredible. I think this, in my opinion, is the best DCEU film so far. I thought Wonder Woman was good. I think I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. It was solid. That also had a budget of 150 million. I can't see where that was spent, to be honest with you, when you see what they did in this film with the budget. But yeah, I would say this is probably my favorite DCEU film so far. It's the most fun, the best made in my opinion. The story is cohesive. There are some plot holes, which I hate plot holes, but you have to move on with it, I guess. Some of the jokes were funny. Some of them really didn't land though. They really tried to go with the funny vibe and it worked on most occasions, but in the cinema, there were moments where they really threw a joke out there and it fell so flat that no one laughed. It was a full packed cinema. There was not one seat empty and no one laughed at some of the jokes. I was like, wow, that bombed. I don't know where some of these lines were written, how they were created, but they weren't good. That's something I'll say. The writing wasn't the best, but it was passable. There were one set of scenes that were written terribly though, and those were the scenes with child Arthur and teenage Arthur. The bloody dialogue in those scenes was goddamn awful. I don't know what they thought. They should have just bloody improvised, because it would have been better than what they produced at the end of it. It was so bad. I don't know if it was the actors doing it or if it was the writing. I think the writing was particularly bad there, but maybe the actors didn't do it justice either. I don't know, but ay caramba, I remember it. It was that bad. It was really cool seeing him in a more classic Aquaman outfit. I think that is what will make the film for most people, and I'm glad that they sort of have changed the tone with the DCEU and making it less dark. By no means was this film light and fluffy, but it just didn't have the same color palette as the other films. It felt more lively and alive than the others, even though there were severely dark tones here. It wasn't like this was a happy-go-lucky film. This was dark and bloody brooding. At least Momoa was brooding. You can be dark without having to have a bloody dark color palette on screen. It doesn't need to be there. If I was to say what a big problem with the film was, it was the amount of exposition they gave. Some of it felt like it was natural, and other parts of it just felt like they were just laying it on because they needed to lay it on for people to understand the story. And I don't think they did a good enough job with it, because I walked into the film, I think, a minute late maybe. I hate walking into films late. But they said it was going to start, and then it obviously started early. It obviously started early because it had started by the time we got there. I was in two minds to be like, I'm just going to leave and see the later showing, but it was already late. I didn't want to be up till 2 in the morning because I still had a video to make. And it really pisses me off when I'm late. But I got in and watched it, and maybe I missed something big in that first maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But something wasn't sitting right with the film for me overall. Specifically with the exposition, I think I missed a play there. But I'm someone who generally gets that type of stuff very quickly, or I'll predict stuff that's going to happen pretty simply in the film. I couldn't really grasp all the exposition in the film very much. And if I can't grasp it, I can tell you most people couldn't. So maybe they overestimated what people were taking in from the film, because I'm gonna have to see it again just to get all that stuff in, and because I missed the first couple of minutes. But yeah, I think Patrick Wilson was great. I like him a lot. I think he's maybe underrated as an actor. I think he put in a good performance here. The Black Manta storyline was okay. It was good, but the thing with the film is, could you take a character out of the film and the story be, for the most part, the exact same? And in Black Manta's case, yes, you can essentially take him out of the film completely and the story practically be the same and it be, you know, unchanged for the most part. You can't do that with Mera, you can't do that with Ocean Master, you can't do that with Dolph Lundgren's character, you can't. But with him, if you removed him from the story will basically stay the same for all intensive purposes. You know, it's stuff like that which just is a bit fluffy. It felt like they just stuck him in there. I see they're gonna make him the villain in the second one, potentially, maybe, you know, maybe, but yeah, it's just that make a tight story, make a compact story, and this wasn't that. I know that for sure. They even chucked a love story in there, not Aquaman and Mera's love story, but bloody Nicole Kidman's character and bloody and Jango Fett. Yeah, what a lad, what a lad. Coming back at it again with Jango Fett. Yeah, but he was in this as well. I think he was okay as well. You really felt Jason Momoa's charisma in this film, and I think that is the biggest selling point here. If you like Jason Momoa, if you like Jason Momoa as Aquaman, if you like fun, you'll like this film. If you're too overcritical, hypercritical, hyperanalytical, you probably will not enjoy this film. But if you want to go and have a good time, man, this is a film for you. I enjoyed it. If I was to give it a rating out of 10, which I don't do anymore, as you guys know, I said I won't rate films anymore, but as I'm going to do less film reviews, I guess I can rate the films which I review. I guess that's okay. So if I was to rate this out of 10, I would give it a stunning... That's not really the right word to use with the score I'm going to give it. So no, I'm going to give it a startling, there we go, 7 out of 10. Startling is nice. It was stunning. The visuals were great. It was a masterpiece in certain ways and lackluster in others. 7 out of 10 is what I would give it. What would you give it? Tell me down below in the comments. Down below. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down there. If you didn't, then bloody Ocean Master himself will come after you. If I can't find a picture of Ocean Master, Aquaman himself is gonna come after you, and you don't want that. You really have to just subscribe anyway to avoid that. I've been NarendraTheComic. You have been great, and I'll see you next time. Skadoosh.